What happens when you get locked up? Well, I'm about to tell you. Welcome. This is Tatum Talk again. I'm Annette Tatum. It is a very scary, very isolating experience, and it leaves you in a state of confusion. Sometimes you may not even know what your actual charges are. You may be confused about how you got these charges. And the whole time you're sitting there, you're alone, and your mind is racing with what's going to happen next. And what about my whatever it is you have got going on? What about my job? What about my kids? What about my apartment? What about my car? All these things. Who's going to take care of it? You know what I mean? I need to get to a phone. I need to get to a phone. So it's nerve wracking. So from the time you get cuffed, I don't know, it could be a state case, it could be a federal case, it could be different state. I've been arrested in different states.
You were in jail?
Things are different everywhere. Some things remain the same. What remains the same is they're going to fingerprint you. They're going to pull your record, determine what your criminal background is. In the meantime, you will be held because you have to go before the judge. So in some states, this could happen more expeditiously than in others. Some states you may be 2-3 days waiting to get before the judge. Some states you may go before the judge the same day. It really depends. But in the process of them waiting to get you to the judge and for the judge to understand the charges, explain them to you, that's your arraignment, explain your charges to you, or for you a court-appointed attorney, decide whether or not you're going to get bail or bond. Before all of that happens, you're going to be in a holding process. So the holding process can happen at your local county, your local police station where you first get arrested at. But chances are they don't keep people there very long, a couple of hours, and then they take you to jail. So they process you. Basically, it's an intake that happens. And this intake could take hours. And the first thing you need to know is if somebody comes to your home to take you, you know when it's about to happen because it's not a friendly type of interaction. It's not about knocking on the door and speaking to you politely. No, it's like boom, 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 the police open up, like that kind of thing. If you're about to be arrested, you want to get dressed, layered up. I don't care if it's summertime. You need to have on 2-3 shirts, right? Or like a long john shirt, like a regular shirt, and then a hoodie on top of that. You need 2 pairs of pants on. You need 2 pairs of socks. You're gonna be cold because the holding cells they have you in is freezing. And I've been in several, and I'm telling you it's the same everywhere. Not only is it really cold, it's also that you're sitting there for so long in one spot. And the longer you sit in one place, the colder you're gonna be. And there's no clocks, there's no windows, so time is just frozen. And so it's just isolated. It may be somebody else in there with you, but you don't really know that person. And so there's a little conversation, but not much. It's an isolated situation. So you want to be cold. You want to be layered so that you could try to stay warm. That's one thing. The other thing is nobody tells you anything. Nobody tells you what's going on. Nobody answers your questions. You just like, what's going to happen next? Like, you're afraid of the unknown the whole time. What's going on while you're waiting is they're pulling your background, running your criminal history, seeing if you have a rap sheet. They're gathering evidence from whoever arrested you, the arresting officer or whatever. He has paperwork that he has to do to fill out. You know what I mean? He has to do a report. All of that is going on. Then the intake process, if they decide you're not going to see the judge today, so you have to actually be provided a place to sleep, that's jail, unless they know you're going to be seen the next day. And maybe perhaps this particular police station does hold people, they have holding cells, then you'll probably sleep in the cell and see the judge the next day. But some places do take you to the jail the same day, and then you have to go through intake. Intake could be hours. I mean, it could be anywhere from like 3-4 hours to like 12. I've been in Arizona. They do it the worst. Maricopa County, the 4th Avenue jail is the worst place to be. It's like the Matrix there. That's the nickname they have for it, because it takes like 12 hours to get through this circle of fuckery they got going on. They're gonna call you out of the holding cell. They're gonna take you through various stages of these sessions where you have to see a mental health person, and you have to see a nurse, and you have to pee in a cup because you got to be tested. You got to get a TB test, now probably a COVID test. You have to go to sit with somebody, so they ask you like a lot of background information, like your level of education, your address, your job, who's your your relatives, your immediate family members. They need contact information for these people. They ask you, have you ever been arrested before? Do you have any enemies in jail right now? Are you part of a gang? All these kind of questions. They send you back to the cell in between each of these times. The only thing that in Arizona, they don't send you back to the same cell. No, that would be way too easy. They have multiple of these holding cells. And so they transfer you around and shift you around to basically all of them.
What the hell did you just say?
So every time they call you out of one place, you don't go back there, then you go to a different one. And so imagine you sitting in a holding cell for like 2 hours, and it's crowded. It might be like 20 girls, might be 30, 40 people. It's crowded, right? You got yourself a seat on the bench. It's not much bench space. It's gonna be a lot of people laying around on the floor. You got yourself a seat on the bench. You done chatted it up with some chick. She done promised you she gonna get you a 3-way call when next time she gets on the phone. Okay, great. You're gonna be able to at least get some contact out, get a 3-way, get a message, something like that to somebody. And now they call your name. So they call your name. You don't come back to that same cell. So now you done lost your connection with the person that was giving you the 3-way. You moved your feet, so now your seat is gone. Now they put you into a different holding cell, and now you got to go through this all over again. And it may be more crowded in that cell. It may be people detoxing, people throwing up, whatever the case is. And this goes on for like 12 hours. So finally you go through the whole intake process. You see all the people. You get your picture taken, your ID taken, ID given to you. They strip your clothes. They do a strip search. They give you a uniform to wear, all of this stuff. Finally, you get assigned to a bunk. And you're so happy for this bunk. You ain't never wanted to lay down in jail so bad before, because you are exhausted, because it's been like 12 hours and they done had you going through all these circle of rooms and all these people contacting you, asking you questions for your contact information, and just putting you through all these tests, and you just tired, you just want to lay down. Okay, so you go and you lay down, and this may be a dormitory. You may have a cell that you share with somebody else. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's a dorm. Maybe there's 50 beds in the dorm. Maybe it's a cubicle with just 4 beds. It could be anything. You don't know what you're going to get. But you're going to get a shower, and you're going to get fresh clothes, underclothes, all of that stuff. Anything you came in with you is going to be put into like property. You don't have access to anything. Not your keys, not a phone number in your cell phone, not your purse. Don't have medication in your purse, can't use it. You know, medical will ask you, was you on any medication? What do you need? What do you take? And then they'll assess your needs, and they'll prescribe medication. So medication will come around on the cart, and they'll call your name, and that's how you'll get your meds. You'll get your one phone call, but you need to know a phone number, people. This is very important. A lot of us, we use our cell phones every day. We don't memorize numbers anymore. And you're just so used to picking up your phone and just hitting a person's name and being connected. But you need to memorize at least 1 or 2 numbers just for emergency situations. Because if you're in this situation and you don't have not one number memorized, then you can't call anyone. You have to rely on like a third party, like someone else being nice out of the kindness of their heart. They get limited time on the phone. They might only get 15 minutes on their own phone call. Now you have to ask that person, can you please, the next time you speak to your husband, brother, mother, daughter, whoever, can you ask them to go on Instagram or Facebook? I just need to get a message to my family. And that's what you have to rely on. And then you have to wait for that person to call back and see, check in with their friend or family. Did they do it? And did that person respond? And if they did, now they can give you the message. Now you have to wait till somebody else uses the phone so that you could get them to dial that number for you. Or you might be able to dial it straight out at this point. The other thing is you can call a bail bonds. You know, they'll have a list on the wall of bail bonds. And maybe some of them might take collect calls, but maybe they won't. But maybe there's an 800 number. And so with them trying to get your business, then maybe they will help reach out to your family. All of this is just taking extra long though. If you just could shortcut it by memorizing a phone number or two, that would just make your life so much easier.
If you say so.
It may be the key to the whole plan. You get it?
Got it.
Good.
And then some jails actually make you, when they give you your clothes and you dress out and you take a shower, some of them do a lice treatment and they do it to everybody. It's not specific to women or anything like that. They do it to everybody. It doesn't matter if you have short hair, long hair, or whatever.
Oh, hell no!
Not every place does it either. Some places make you cut your hair out. Like if you have weave-in or wig or whatever, braids, they even make you take your braids out. They want your natural hair and that's it. They don't want no extra extensions, no nothing. They want to take your picture in your raw form with no makeup on or anything. So they can know exactly how everybody looks and how you look is going to match how your ID looks. So many different things could happen depending on where you are. Basically, you need to be prepared for anything. It's a moment in life where you're going to feel horrible about yourself. Like, how did I get here? You know, kicking yourself. Don't feel, it's a storm, basically. We all go through storms. There's trials, there's tribulations. You have to get through them. If you're not in a storm now, then a storm is coming, or you just came out of a storm. Storms pass. They fade. Clouds get lifted. Your destination now is not your whole journey. It doesn't mean that this is it for you. It doesn't mean that, the sun will never shine again. That's not true. You just have to get through this. Sometimes we go through stuff and it helps us. It makes us stronger. It gives us character. And things that you go through now could actually maybe help you later on. Like you have to. Sometimes life gets way big for us to handle. Sometimes it's just too much. And he has a way of putting us on a different path. So you have to go through the fire in order to get to, clear horizons. It's not all bad. And just think, many people have gone through this before you and many will go through after. Many people have been arrested. You'll make it through this. You just have to stay positive and be patient. If God doesn't change your situation immediately, then he's using the situation to change you. And keep this in mind, if you have to do any amount of time, a lot happens in jail. On a day-to-day basis, a lot. Like, it doesn't even have anything to do with you. Just people around you. There is petty stuff that goes on. Arguments may break out. Surely they will break out. They probably won't lead to fights, though. Just talk. Nobody really wants to go to the hole. It's not worth it. But keep the focus. Keep the focus on the end goal, the light at the end of the tunnel. Don't get caught up in all the pettiness that goes on every day. That's not important. Just stay focused on you. The end goal is to go home at the end of the day. So just stay focused on the big picture. I have been through enough to be help to someone out there. So take my journey as, a guide to help you in your situation that you're in now. It's gonna get better. It got better for me. I have other videos on here that talk about more of my journey. It's gonna get better for you too. This is Tatum Talk. Please hit like, hit share if you think this can help someone else that you know, and please subscribe to this channel.